Let's do some lasagna soup. This is one of my favorite things to do ever. It's one of my biggest comfort foods. So let's get into it. I'm taking a little bit of olive oil to saute some of my onions and garlic. And I'm taking very little bit because the ground beef that we're going to throw in produces its own grease. And I just feel like personally it's going to be really oily. But that's a me thing. But do whatever you want to do, you know? So I'm going to take a little bit of the onion, the garlic, and then I'm going to saute this once the oil gets nice and hot. And then once they are sauteed a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and throw in that ground beef. I'm going to go ahead and mash that up together like so. And then my favorite part comes in, which is when I start throwing in my seasonings. But I'm going to throw in my seasonings as soon as it starts turning brown. So I'm going to take a little bit of salt. Don't go crazy with salt because we don't want this too salty. We're going to throw in some cheese later, so keep in mind that that's what you're going to do. Then we're going to take some black pepper. I'm going to take a little bit of oregano. I'm not measuring anything. I'm kind of just eyeballing everything. I measure with my heart, okay? I like flavors. So I'm just going to yeet everything right in here. Some of this onion powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some of this garlic powder. Same thing. Just shake it up. Throw it all up in there. It's going to be good, I promise. I'm going to take a little bit of paprika just for some color. I just feel like I have to add paprika to any recipe I do. It's a staple. And then I'm going to take my Italian seasonings. Be generous with Italian seasoning when it comes to kind of doing these types of meals. Trust me, it's amazing. I'm going to take some basil as well. Throw that right in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and give that a nice stir. And then once I give that a nice stir, I'm going to take my tomato paste. I specifically like this brand. It's really easy to use. Little tube. Squeeze that right in there and then give that another nice mix. And then once I go ahead and mix everything together, I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken broth. Use the whole thing out. It's 4 cups. Same thing. Just dump it all in there. Dump it all in there like so. And then give another good mix. And then I'm going to take 1 jar of tomato sauce. I'm putting it in a spoon because I don't want nothing to splatter all over the place. It becomes really messy if you just yeet the whole thing in there at once. So I'm just going to put it in my spoon, just like so. And then give it another good mix. And then once I give that a nice mix, I'm going to take some lasagna noodles and just crack them, throw them in. I honestly was starting to run out, so I think I used probably about like 7 to 8 noodles. You can put as much or as little as you want. And then 1 cup of heavy cream. This gives it that creamy texture and is my favorite part. And you're going to notice it's going to start turning like this nice light orangey color. And then once I go ahead and give that a good mix, I'm going to throw in some parsley. Look how nice the green looks with that orange. Yeah, okay. Look at me being a whole little chef or whatever. And then we're going to take a little bit more of Italian seasoning. And then I'm going to take some more basil too. And I'm just going to dump a whole bunch in there again. The more, the better. The more, the better. And then once I do that is when I'm going to start taking my cheese. I think I had half a bag left of this mozzarella cheese, so I just threw the whole thing in there. I love cheese. Cheese is my best friend. And then I didn't have the good Parmesan, okay? So don't yell at me, but I'm just going to dump whatever Parmesan cheese I do have. It tastes good to me, okay? If you have the good stuff, then just throw the good stuff in there. But this is what I have. And then I took a little spoonful of ricotta. I love ricotta. If you don't like it, you don't have to do this. This is optional, but this is the end results. So thanks for watching.